In this video, I'm going to show you how to make really great personalized wall decor using these Scrabble blocks that I made. If you want to learn how to make these, well then follow me. What's up, Glue Dots? I'm Elaine, the Midnight Crafter, and today's project, as you saw, is the Scrabble blocks, but they're not the little itty-bitty Scrabble blocks. They're big ones that we're going to use to make wall decor. The wall decor is so cool because you can personalize it to family names, as I did in my one other video, which I will link in the card above if you want to see it. Or you can do just names that mean something to you, words that mean something to you, whatever you would like. So it's a really cool project, and they're really easy to do too. And inexpensive, which is always a plus. A big thank you to my friends at Skillshare for sponsoring this video. And if you're not familiar with Skillshare, it's an online community. It has over 25,000 classes that you can take, whether it's culinary or crafting or technology, which those of you who have seen my live videos know that I have some technology challenges. So anyway, the first 500 of you that are interested and would like to try it, the first 500 clicking the link below will get a free 2-month trial membership. So I would go down there quick and check it out. Got nothing to lose and so much to learn. Also, get down there in that description box. You can enter for my giveaway that I do a monthly drawing, and there's also a lot of great information down there that I don't want you to miss, including the link for Skillshare. So thanks again, Skillshare. You definitely get my thumbs up. Before we get to the video, I'd love if you hit that subscribe button down below. Join the Glue Dot family. Hit the bell next to it, and it will inform you every time I upload a new video. Also, give me a thumbs up if you're liking my videos, and leave me a comment down below because I love hearing from you. Anyway, let's get to this video. Getting started on this project, there's a couple things I wanted to point out. So obviously we're going to need to pull these front pieces here off of these, but what I wanted to show you is if you get these exact artwork frames, the black ones peel off, this design peels off differently than this or any of the other ones. I noticed that while I was working on it. When you go to peel this design off, it leaves the glue in a weird sort of way. And it's something then that you will need a straight edge razor to scrape off. And it's more work to scrape that off. There's a plus to it in that it pretty much leaves the paper intact. The difference between that and the other colored ones is when I pull that off, this is glued on with hot glue. And you can see the residual there of that. Now some of it peels right off, and some of it is stuck on, where again, so you can get some of it off, but sometimes in removing this, it actually tears the paper backing. So it's up to you on how much work you're gonna wanna put into this as far as taking these apart, or actually as far as what you're gonna even be able to find. It is definitely easier to get this hot glue kind off, but like I said, sometimes you peel it and it takes the paper. But anyway, go ahead and remove all of your little sequin word thingy majiggies, and then we're going to be painting these to kind of resemble this wood color like the Scrabble blocks would have. Now the paint that I used for that, I used the Apple Barrel Lite Mocha from Walmart, and to me it seems to be the closest to the actual natural wood color of the little Scrabble pieces. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of those prepped, and then we're going to move on. Waiting for all of our art pieces to dry, what we're going to be doing is go ahead and print out all of the alphabet letters that you need for your project. And I have left a link below that you can click on, and it's going to take you to free download for these for 6x6, which is what I have here. If you want to make these bigger or smaller, if you're like me and technically challenged, this would be a great time to use the Skillshare which is what I talked about, and they're sponsoring my video today. And Skillshare has all of those great classes you can take. So if you want to take a class on Adobe Illustrator to learn how to make these type of things, that would be a great reason to take the class, which is exactly what I'm doing. All right, so print out your letters, and then what we're going to be doing is taking the letter, flipping it to the back side, and you're going to use a pencil and go over behind where the lettering is. And we're going to be using this to create our shape that we're going to be painting in. So wherever your wherever you have lettering or a picture or whatever you're going to be transferring, you want to go ahead and dirty it up with your lead. Now, if you have carbon paper, just happen to have that laying around, you can use that too. It may be, I don't know if it may be messier, it may get on the paint, but you know, we all have pencils, so why not do something like this with a pencil? The only thing I discovered is I don't have a pencil sharpener anymore, so what I had to do was use my X-Acto knife and shave off my pencil edge, which actually works out okay. So now that we have that done, you're going to take that and you're going to flip it over and take your artwork, which these I had painted ahead of time, so I have these dry, and let me just, again, no brainer, but make sure this darn little hook is facing up. 3 of them, I did the dork move of forgetting to check, and they were on the bottom and on the side, and I had to pull them off and re-hot glue them on. So these PDFs that you'll be printing out do have a line here as a guide, and you're going to line that up with the edge of your box frame. Now, it's really great if you put that up against the light and you can line it up. Right now it happens to be dark, and it's going to be really hard for me to show you on camera if I'm holding it up to the light, so I went ahead of time and folded it just so I could be able to go ahead and place this. So once you get this placed, you're going to go ahead and trace exactly along where your edge of your letter is, and don't be too concerned if you get slightly off, because though it does leave the mark behind, it's not super dark, and you will be able to kind of fill it in and shape it when you're painting it if it gets a little bit kind of jiggly wiggly in there. Trace out your whole letter, and then also don't forget to trace out your little number over there as well. I got a little off over here, and that's okay. I'm going to fix that with the paint. So now when you take that off, it should leave you a really nice little imprint of your letter. So once you have your letters traced on like this and you have your outline, you're going to use the Sharpie to go over this. And as I said, it is so much easier to do it with the Sharpie than just going directly with the paint. So here's a tip for you. Do not press real hard with the Sharpie, because the paint will actually come up and stick to your Sharpie. It may come up a little bit anyway, and that's why you don't want to press hard, and you may want to have a little piece of something nearby if it does, just to kind of clean off the excess, any paint that might stick on there. But this is your opportunity to kind of straighten up any lines that are crooked and kind of get the shape you want. Your corners are going to be the most important, these little edges here, because it's really hard to get a really good corner with your paint. So doing it with the Sharpie, you're going to get a much sharper edge. The other thing, just a little tip, I mean, you can do whatever you want, but what I found is when I'm on the inside of the letter, as opposed to trying to draw the line from the outside, I get a much nicer line. And I think it's because of the bumpiness of the paint itself. So you can get just a much nicer line if you're on the inside. And I also found that a thicker line is an easier line, because that will just give you a better line to paint. Now, if you have a Cricut machine or another type of vinyl cutter, Silhouette, maybe you want to cut your letters out of black vinyl. I know that not everybody has those machines, and so I opted to do it this way so that everybody can have the opportunity to be able to make it. Also, if you have a black paint marker that you like to use, that's another option. I don't have any paint markers, so that's why I'm going with the Sharpie and the paint instead. And occasionally at Dollar Tree you can find Sharpies. All right, so now that the letter is completely outlined, we're going to go through and paint it. And you do want to try and find a brush that is a rectangular shaped brush. My brush is about 1/4 inch wide, and it's really a good width for painting in the letters. And if you have a smaller one you want to use for the numbers, that might be helpful. Otherwise, you can carefully do the numbers with this larger size. I'm just using black paint from Walmart, nothing too interesting, just your basic black paint. This one happens to be opaque licorice outdoor paint. Doesn't really matter, whatever you've got is just fine. And though I'm sure a lot of you probably have painted before, I like to always give options because in case someone's a new crafter. Load up your brush, get a pretty good amount of paint on it. Not so much that you don't have control, but enough that you can easily kind of slide down your the line here. Just got an itty bitty little smudge here, and I'm gonna just leave that alone for now and go back over it maybe with some of my base colored paint later, because if I try and do anything with it now, that black is so concentrated it's gonna make a big ugly mess on my backboard here. Whoa. They're an online learning community with over 25. But before we get to the video, please click that subscribe button. I'm not liking that. This time we're gonna make our own and do some really cool wall decor that is personalizable, so you can make it say whatever you want, in other words. Also, the first of my 500 subscribers that clicks on that link will get a free trial. The first of my subscribers to hit that link button for Skillshare will get free trial. If you need help with Adobe Illustrator for projects like this one, or I don't like it, I'll show you a little clip a little later on. But first, I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore.